so mellow. Try to remember the kind of September when grass was green and grain was yellow. Try to remember the kind of September when you were a tender and mellow fellow. And if you remember that kind of September, then follow. Well, there's a lovely old song. There's more verses to it. I don't remember them all. I know one of them talks about being in December and thinking of the snow to follow, and then remembering back to the mellow September. Well, it is September, and we are now officially in autumn, or fall, if you prefer that term. The fall of the year, when leaves will be turning and dropping, the wind will take a chill to it, and eventually we'll probably see some snow. But let's not dwell on that, shall we? Let's dwell on the nice warm kind of September when grass is green and grain is yellow. What are we going to do today? We're going to make another soup. Now, last time we got together we made tortellini and sausage soup. Today we're going to make a cream of potato soup. So let's get to it, shall we? I'm doing this in the crock pot, so you'll want to have your crock and give it a spray with Pam or some other vegetable oil, or if you don't have that, then just take some oil and spread it around inside. To that, you're going to add 5 medium peeled and diced potatoes, which turns out to be about 5.5 cups. There's 4 there, and the other bunch there. Now, my recipe actually calls for bacon, but I don't have any bacon, but we did have a pork roast the other night, and I have some pork roast left. So I'm putting in about, 1.5 cups of diced pork. If you're using bacon, probably a cup will be enough because bacon has a much stronger flavor to it. Okay, 1 cup of diced onion. Then you're going to want some seasonings. Well, 1 clove of crushed garlic, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of white pepper. Now, I normally would do these separately, but in preparing I accidentally measured the 1/2 teaspoon of white pepper and dropped it in the same little tub as my salt was already in, so they're combined. So 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. You want about a 1/2 teaspoon, maybe a little more, of ground dill weed. And a 1/2 teaspoon of, notice the theme here, 1/2 teaspoon, basil, or basil, depending on your preference of pronunciation. And now we're going to add 1 can, I'm using Campbell's soup here, but use whatever brand you want. This is a 284 milliliter can, it's a standard soup can size of chicken broth. We're going to add 1 cup of water, good old H2O. One can, this is a 354 millimeter can of Carnation 2% evaporated milk. I believe they call it partly skimmed. I forgot to shake the can before I opened it. It's a good idea to do that because it does tend to settle in the bottom. And we're going to give that a good stir. Try and blend all our ingredients together. You know how I always talk about, you want your ingredients to mingle, just like at a nice cocktail party where the guests mingle and get to know each other. That's what you want here. You want them to get to know each other intimately and mingle and share. And next we're going to want 3/4 of a cup of milk. Now you can use whole milk or 2% milk or 1% milk, which doesn't really matter. It will make a slight difference in the thickness of it, of the soup, if you use whole milk versus 1%, but not drastically. So now we want to really stir that together again. Get all those lovely flavors mixed together. And that's it. It's ready to go and cook. Now I'm going to cook this on low for 6 to 8 hours, or you can do it on high for 4 to 6 hours, whichever you prefer. And when it's cooked, you'll have a lovely, delicious, hearty cream of potato soup. And like I say, if you use bacon, only use a cup, don't use a cup and a half, because the bacon flavor is quite strong and it'll add flavor without, the more you add, the stronger it'll be. So I'd say about a cup of bacon bits, versus if you're using leftover pork roast or leftover roast chicken, probably a cup and a half. All right, let's put this on to cook, shall we? One thing I'm going to do real quick is in mixing this, I got some up around the edge, so I'm just going to wipe around the inside edge here. Because if I don't do that, if there's any moisture on that upper lip, once this gets to temperature, the lid will start popping. It'll start hearing click, 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 click. And you don't want that. It's annoying. If you don't mind that sound, then don't worry about it. But I always try to keep the moisture off that inner rim, just so the lid sits on there properly. Let's put this on, shall we? All right, our soup is on, it's cooking, and I hope you'll give this recipe a try. It'll make a nice hearty bowl of soup for you that you can enjoy with your loved ones. And again, just like the tortellini and sausage soup, it's a great one to have after you come in from working outside on a cool fall day, or from sledding and making snowmen or whatever on a winter's day. It'll give you some good carbs and proteins to fill your belly and give you some energy. So until next time when we get together for, I believe it's Tuesdays with the Pilgrim, take care, stay safe, and God bless.